Now, there's been a lot of talk about World War III. America's had this conflict with Iran going on. Obviously, Russia-Ukraine has dragged America maybe through the back door, along with Europe, into some global conflicts. But the biggest op when it comes to America and its economy is, of course, China. Okay, and Donald Trump and a whole bunch of tech billionaires and beyond have all been in China for a very peculiar link-up. And there's been a lot of crazy, suspicious, weird little moments that really say a lot about what's going on behind the scenes and really about how, you know, real decisions are made amongst powerful people behind closed doors, okay? But before I get into everything that's happening on this crazy China trip, okay, if you want to know more about some of the crazy stuff that goes on behind the closed doors of the government, okay, I just did a video on my main channel about Donald Trump's kill count. Now, I've wanted to do this video for a while. Everybody always says, you know, you do these videos about gangs and bodies and people that kill people and, you know, oh, you'd only talk about certain types of people. Well, I wanted to do a video for a while that basically covered all the people Trump has had killed, because he's had a bunch of people killed and it's no secret. It's open. It's out there. Like, he's damn near like King Von. He will have somebody killed and tweet about it afterwards. That's a real thing. Okay, so I wanted to make a whole doc about it. I finally got around to it. I'm not going to lie, I feel like this video is being suppressed. But anyway, if you want to go and check it out, go and check it out. Okay, it's pretty insane. And I really just did this to you know, really show you guys what I can do in sort of different lanes. And yeah, just go and check that out. But anyway, as far as this trip in China, it's been very interesting. Okay, so Trump apparently landed out there in China on May the 13th, just a couple of days ago. And this is actually the first time a US president has been in China in about 9 years, okay? And Trump was over there trying to do his infamous power handshake, okay? You know how Trump be grabbing people up with these handshakes, right? You might have seen these tough handshakes in the
past. There's perhaps no better way to express a sense of control in business and in politics than a firm handshake. For Trump, it's a full contact sport, and he's got a few power moves. The first we'll call...
So he loves to grab people's hands and pull them. So as soon as he arrived to China, right, he was all up in Xi Jinping's for personal space. But the supreme leader of China, right, he held his own, all right? He held his own. People are saying Trump was trying to pull his arm. He was pulling back. He wasn't going for it. Trump said, all right, I'll get you next time. Okay, I see the strength. I see the grit. All right, so this guy's not to be trifled with, okay? Hey, Xi Jinping's not to be trifled with, okay? His kill count's probably pretty impressive anyway, okay? The news would basically report on sort of the main priorities of the visit, and you might have seen clips of some of the most famous billionaires from around the world trotting off the jet with Mr. Trump.
Tonight, President Trump arriving in China to a lavish welcome. Hundreds of kids waving Chinese and American...
Wait.
In China to a lavish welcome. Hundreds of kids
What?
Waving Chinese and American flags as the president prepares to begin his high-stakes summit. Among the president's entourage, top American CEOs. You can see Elon Musk, and that's Jensen Huang, CEO of American AI chipmaker NVIDIA. President Trump posting he'll be asking President Xi to open up China to American businesses.
We're going to have a great meeting in China. He's a wonderful guy.
Tonight, we spoke with retired Chinese senior colonel So Boa.
What do you think the Chinese government thinks of President Donald Trump?
I think we definitely would just lay out the red carpet to welcome him. He's coming when China is much stronger, and when China is more confident.
President Trump trying to level the playing field for U.S. companies here. He's hit China with some of his biggest tariffs, and the U.S. trade deficit with China dropped 30% last year to around $200 billion. And there's a new battle over AI. A source tells NBC News NVIDIA's CEO was included in the delegation after a last-minute call from President Trump. The Trump administration accuses China of an industrial-scale effort to steal U.S. technology on AI. And there's a fierce debate over whether more American companies should sell AI computer chips to China.
Those chips allow us to be ahead in AI, and quite frankly, the Chinese want access to them.
And the new reaction tonight over the president's response when asked if America's financial situation motivated him to make a deal with Iran.
I don't think...
Okay, well, this isn't a video about Iran, but anyway, okay. Apparently, Okay, there was actually some beef going on behind the scenes. Apparently, there was a little beef between the American and the Chinese photographers that were basically battling to take photos and record the president's meetings. And apparently, you know, them Trump pictures and them candid shots, the little arm wrestles between Trump and Xi, that's very valuable, right? So apparently there was actually beef over who's going to take the pics.
White House only. White House only. White House only. White House only.
Chinese not going for it, man. They're saying we locked in. They're playing by different rules over there, man. Crazy. White House reportedly fights Chinese.
No, move.
Please put on the earpiece for the
They're doing all this while Trump's in the room. Crazy. What the hell? That's wild, right? So it's getting physical behind the scenes, and apparently it's not just the journalists. So apparently Chinese officials initially blocked the Secret Service as well as US journalists from entering a historic temple because an agent had a weapon, but apparently the Americans, they got stiff too, and they just pushed through and said, fuck all that. We got in the big dogs.
What's the
Let's go.
What are we waiting on, guys?
他们啥都可以走，我问他们，他们啥时候总统走了，他们可以走。帅姐
Yeah.
We are not separate. We are
你跟他说，
together.
我们主席走了，他们可以走。
What? Sorry. Do you understand that we are in the motorcade with the president?
Shoemaker to Tiso, we are still not
Okay, but this is
So that the,
no.
the main concern now is that the security of our side do not allow you, sir, leave
Okay,
this.
they are literally waiting us out.
We gotta move.
We gotta go, guys. Okay, no, we gotta go. We gotta go. Go. We gotta go.
We gotta move.
We gotta go. Let's go. We're going.
Look at this. That is our head of
We gotta
security.
go, guys.
Let's go. He's right.
We have to go.
We gotta go. Go.
We have to go. We are going.
Unbelievably.
U.S. press, we are going.
Go,
We are going.
go.
We are going.
Everybody go.
Rachel, make sure you're in this.
Go.
Be gentle, but we are going. Don't run over anybody. Do not do what they did to us.
Intense. So, couple scuffles outside, but also, all right, stealing the show, arguably, the person that people have been talking about the most in this situation isn't even Trump, all right? Everybody's been talking about Elon Musk. He's stealing the show. People are asking him for selfies, and he kind of is trotted out. Really like the king of America, man. You're the king of American commerce. They're saying he's the main character of the trip. Look at him. Now, he's trolling, right? Because it's like he posing for a picture of the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, and he pulling that face like he knowing low-key he be beefing with these guys. They be having little back and forths and beefs over, you know, the App Store and, you know, apps in Tesla and what the iPhone can interface with the Tesla, etc. Back and forth. They low-key, and he trolling, man. And you never see this at this sort of high-level CEO type of link-up. Did the same thing to the CEO of Xiaomi. And they're saying that he was kind of like pulling these faces because he knows that like this guy is basically trying to steal all of Tesla's patents. Like they just be they were trying to get the patents, so he pulling all these sus faces. Trolling. He brought his kid. Right. Future king of America right there. Yeah, it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange, actually, honestly. It's a little bit... I don't know if I like it, to be honest with you. So Trump, all right, he's famous for never having drunk alcohol in his life, all right? Shout out to him. I don't drink either, all right? Have drunk in my life, but haven't drank for many years, all right? Trump was actually handed a drink on stage, and I don't know if he was, I don't know if this was a test, all right? They're saying Trump never had alcohol in his life, but China gave him a beverage to toast, and Trump drank it. There's a very subtle but strong statement on who's really in charge. That's what they're saying, right? But if they removed the clip, no, have they censored the clip? Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I got a backup. Pretty sure I got a backup of this. Okay, this is the clip in question, all right? Let's see. They could have given him anything.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, very much.
I think it's a fake sip. I reckon he took a fake sip. What do you think? Real sip? I see it like maybe it just touched his lips, okay? But anyway, there was some interesting things that came out from this, okay?
President Trump
this was a little incident where basically apparently she warned Trump not to test China on Taiwan. And obviously Taiwan, you know, it's the island off China. They think that they have the true right to the Chinese mainland. China don't agree, and they want Taiwan to basically, they see Taiwan as already part of China. They're just going to grab it and take it whenever they want. Taiwan sees themselves as independent, and America is back in Taiwan. And story goes, if China tried to grab Taiwan, just so happens all the semiconductor companies are in Taiwan. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, we built the most important business infrastructure on questionable land. Whoopsie daisy. Isn't that just a big geographical whoopsie doodle? But a story goes that Trump and the Americans would step in and defend Taiwan if pressed.
Xi Jinping. It didn't come as a surprise that it was the first thing that Chinese state media reported, this comment basically saying that if the U.S. and China mishandled the issue of Taiwan, it could lead to a military conflict. We've heard that sort of thing from Beijing repeatedly over the years. It is noteworthy, but not surprising, that that was the first line of information that they chose to leak to the Xinhua news agency. I want to read you a little bit more of the quote that was reported by Chinese state media from Xi Jinping. He said, quote, Taiwan independence and cross-strait peace are as irreconcilable as fire and water. Safeguarding peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait is the biggest common denominator between China and the U.S. And because they were expecting that kind of language here in Taipei, there was a response very quickly from the Taiwan cabinet spokesperson, Michelle Lee. I'll read you that as well, Sarah. It said, China's military threat is the sole source of insecurity in the Taiwan Strait and the broader Indo-Pacific region. Continuous enhancement of defense and effective joint deterrence are the most critical factors to ensuring regional security. The reason why they talked about enhancement of defense is because one big concern that they have here in Taipei is that behind closed doors, Xi Jinping could ask President Trump to either delay or stall or flat out deny a $14 billion arms sales package that Taiwan's parliament has approved, but it has yet to be approved by President Trump in Washington. It's still in limbo. That would be a major setback for Taiwan if President Trump didn't approve that package quickly, because it would basically indicate that he's willing to negotiate Taiwan's security in exchange for some sort of grand bargain. That was, of course, the big concern that Taiwanese officials expressed in the days and weeks leading up to this meeting. We heard from the Taiwan foreign minister, who said that he hoped the summit would bring no surprises. The deputy foreign minister said he was afraid that Taiwan could be on the menu. So even though they knew here in Taipei that Xi was going to press this claim that Beijing has had for 75 years that Taiwan belongs to China, even though Taiwan has had its own government and its own military the entire time, and also, by the way, happens to have the production of nearly all of the world's most advanced chips that are crucial to the United States' deep investment in AI.
So Taiwan's got all the goods, basically, all right? And so apparently Xi made an even more pointed statement later on, and I think we're going to see part of it.
We'll see. With us now is Congressman Mark Alford, a Republican from Missouri. Congressman, always great to see you. Let me read you part of that statement from China again. Quote, if it is not handled properly, and this is, he's talking about the Taiwan issue here. If it is not handled properly, the two countries may clash or even come into conflict, pushing the entire China-U.S. relationship into a very dangerous situation. So some see that as a warning or a threat from President Xi. You care deeply about Taiwan.
He's basically making a threat, right? He's threatening America. He's saying if we don't get the way Taiwan worked out the way that we want, could create a dangerous, violent situation, could pop off. That's what they're saying. It's very odd. There was also some very weird comments as well that came from Trump. People basically said that he'd complimented the Chinese president's physical appearance, and he'd also apparently commented on how handsome some of the Chinese soldiers were. So this was pretty interesting.
Say about him that if you went to Hollywood and you looked for a leader of China to play a role in a movie,
central casting.
He's central casting. You couldn't find a guy like him. Even his physical features, he's tall, very tall, and especially for this country, because they tend to be a little bit shorter. You look at the military, the military today was incredible. That military marching was incredible. But no, if you went to Hollywood, you're not going to find a guy to play the role. He's good. And he's, I'll get criticized. They always criticize me when I say good things about certain leaders, and this one. But he's a leader for China. He's led almost 1.5 billion people for a long time, and he's respected. It's sort of interesting when the fake news said, he said, they'll say, President Trump said that President Xi was a brilliant leader. That's a terrible thing. What am I going to do?
So apparently he thinks that he looks like a damn near, you couldn't cast him. He looks like the absolute epitome of a Chinese leader in a Hollywood movie. Apparently Trump can't get over how tall President Xi Jinping is too. Okay. And they're saying he was trying to compare him to a movie star. Said you couldn't find him. He's central casting. It's like, he looks so Chinese. You couldn't find a guy looking more Chinese than him. Like he could play all the Chinese people in every movie, like Eddie Murphy. Right? What? This is the president who famously appeared in films like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Zoolander, then commented on Xi's physical features. He's tall, very tall, Trump said of the Chinese leader who's 5'11", compared with Trump's own claimed height of 6'3". Trump noted that people in China tend to be a little shorter. Maybe that's why he won, maybe because he's 5'11", Chad who mogs and, looks like the most famous Chinese person you could possibly conjure in Hollywood, right? So Trump said the quiet part loud, the racist part loud, the stupid part loud, all at once. This man is exhausting. Some people thought it was insensitive, right? See, the thing is, it's like, I don't think he said anything racist. It's just like, what do you mean he looks like a Hollywood, he looks like someone in Hollywood casted the leader of China and you couldn't come up with someone better. It's like, what do you mean? What? Anyway, all right. He simultaneously complimented Xi, but was racist towards Chinese people and proved he lived in a weird TV movie fantasy. So apparently they're saying Trump's been commenting a lot of men on their appearances. Says last month he told a Brazilian MMA fighter, Paulo Costa, that he was a beautiful guy, adding he could be a model. He was too good looking to be a fighter. That's kind of just like trolling, right? But it says 2 weeks later he praised the very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement officers who escorted him out of the White House Correspondents Association dinner after 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen opened fire from the room in the alleged assassin. So you're telling me that the shots went off, they were ushering Trump out the room, and he's thinking, damn, these guys are handsome. Okay. The president's admiration for authoritarian leaders is also not a secret. He showered Russian President Vladimir Putin with praise over the years. Putin's got those fire topless pics floating around the internet, so you got that on horseback and shit. And he's also spoken approvingly of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Now that's just cap. He's just buttering him up, right? That guy looks like a mess. Nice haircut, though. The haircut's cool. But on Trump's trip to China, there was a meeting between the two leaders that overran, featured further praise from the US for President Xi. Trump called Xi a great leader and thanked him for the magnificent welcome, described the relationship as the longest relationship our two countries any president has had, and it's been an honor. Okay, and there he is with Putla, right? Before leaving for Beijing, Trump already seemed mesmerized by Xi, describing him as a friend, somebody we get along with. Trump and Xi also posed in Beijing's historic Zhongganhai Garden for a friendship photo on Thursday, after which Trump was promised rose seeds from the old Imperial Garden for the White House Rose Garden that he has paved over. Oh no, paved over the garden. He did do that apparently to build the ballroom, I believe. If you want to know about the ball, if you want to do a video on the ballroom, tell me in the comments. I find the politics interesting. They're the most beautiful roses anyone's ever seen, Trump told Xi. So look, all right, it is super interesting. To me, it's super interesting, okay? I do find following politics somewhat interesting. I'm kind of new. I've followed American politics casually. I'd followed UK politics, obviously, a lot closer because I lived there and voted there for many, many years. And, I've kind of lost interest in UK politics over the last couple of years. I've spent more time in America, and also UK politics is just a mess. Right, it's a big old mess, and nobody's offering anything good. Like, all the parties suck, honestly, in my opinion, in the UK. They're all trash. All trash. Got no good options. Going to be crazy what happens in the next election. But anyway, what America's got going on is super interesting and different. You know, I want to cover more stuff like this. I'm really trying to broaden my horizons, okay? I'm not just trying to do just, you know, like you guys have said to me before, okay? I like updating you when there's stuff going on with the David case, but if there's nothing going on with the David case, there's really no new information I've found in my research. I love to research. But I want to talk about different things. I want to talk about random things, okay? And then they might not be the most viral topics, but these are interesting to me, and I've been watching stuff about this trip. I thought it was fascinating, so that was my thoughts on it, okay? Hope you found that enjoyable. I'll be back with more videos, probably tomorrow. I was going to do another one, but I ain't got that energy right now. You know what I'm saying? Was it 4 videos today? I was up late listening to the Drake album, going to listen to it again. It's lit. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and for now, I'm out of here, folks. Peace out. Thank you.